Welcome to stage 6 of Tirreno-Adriatico. You've got a flat stage here before a 10-kilometer time trial on stage 7. And it seems the teams of the sprinters have everything under control because this breakaway of 3, only a minute and a half ahead of the full peloton with about 30 Ks to go. The 3 attackers today, Emil Meyer is getting dropped off here, Diana Stephenson, and Lars Evensen. He built up a lead of about 7 minutes, but that quickly came down in the last half of the stage. And Castelli doing a lot of work chasing it down along with AlphaTauri. They have 2 of the big sprinters. Valnor has chipped in as well with the Sofian Germuni. Looks like Emil Meyer about to get swept up. Heinrich Kromer on the first flat stage was the one to strike for the sprinters, winning the first real sprint royale of season 4. So we'll see if he can make it 2 in a row on these kind of finishes, or if a rider like Supachak Trativat can make good on his high expectations. In the meantime, we're getting some last-ditch attacks here. It looks like Diana Stephenson wants to steal these green jersey points, and she will at the intermediate sprint. I think Supachak won't be too happy about that. A rider from the breakaway who has really no long-term interest in those points, just staying ahead despite the sprinters a little bit. So I'd love to see the competitiveness from Diana Stephenson. And Castelli resuming control at the front with 20 kilometers to go. Got Supachak Trativat here in 5th wheel. Eli Lida is up there in that blue jersey. Now the story behind that leader's blue jersey is that Tirreno-Adriatico is often nicknamed the race between the seas, because the name itself stands for a race between the Tirreno Sea and the Adriatic Sea. And since the sea is blue, that's why they have a blue jersey. Now for all the other stage races this season, except for the Giro d'Italia, we will have a yellow jersey for the race leader. In the Giro d'Italia, a bit special, they have their own jersey called the Maglia Rosa, which is a pink leader's jersey. And I have to say that's probably the best looking of all the leaders' jerseys. Hopefully we don't get too confused with the leader of that competition and the Kyoto team, because they also have pink jerseys. Anyway, we're getting towards the last 10 kilometers here, and the pace is a bit docile, I must say. The sprinters team's not really trying to make things too hard. And Heinrich Kromer himself is just loitering at the front of the pack, it seems. Very curious racing here, and we're not getting any attacks to make these teams pay for it, so maybe they're just rolling in towards the finish. But I'm very surprised that no team is taking control at the head of affairs here. And inside the last 10 Ks, if things don't ramp up, then the first team that goes to the front might end up being the team that wins the stage. So Kromer, he has no teammates up around the front. Supachak, he's around 15th or so position. Cannot see him at the moment. Robel Nagasi here for Doimo. He has 2 teammates. Perhaps they can lead something out here. Jupiter's got some numbers. And Futuro Forrestal. I'm assuming they'll be going for Ishikawa Kitetsu once again. But still no sense of urgency in this pack. And that is, as I said earlier, a bit curious. But anyhow, someone has to win the stage, and we're going to find out pretty soon, because that's the 5 kilometers to go banner. And with no other breakaways or anything to act as a carrot for this group, they are kind of just cruising along. And I think we could get a surprise sprint here, although Heinrich Kromer is in good position. He's right towards the front. Heading into the left turn here towards the finishing straight through the town. Chora Forrestal perhaps looking to wind things up a little bit, but still 2 Ks to go, but we're very close to the finish now. Are we going to get a final lead out? And it looks like Doimo at last, the team to go to the front. It's Zionis. That's Robel Nagasi on his wheel, left turn into the last K, and Nagasi's going to get the jump. He's trying to hold off Davide Lagana, but as I said, the first team to get to the front is the team that will profit, and that's exactly what's happened. Robel Nagasi, not one of the elite sprinters, but fast enough on a stage like this. He's foiled the other big boys in the sprints and taken a huge win for the Doimo team. So not the most memorable stage of Tirreno-Adriatico, but Miles should be very pleased with that result. The Eritrean sprinter, already in the winners column. We mentioned him as a possible draft steal early on. He's already proving that. Scored 100 points for the team. So with that, let's take a look at our classifications for Stage 6. In first place, Rebel Nagasi of the Doimo team wins, but let's give some credit to his teammate Dimitris Zionis for that lead out as well. In second place, Davide Lagana of the Castelli team, so another second place for the big sprinter. Henrik Kromer in third place, Ishikawa Kitetsu fourth, Superchak Chirativat in fifth. Some of the lesser sprinters, Miroslav Kostra, Kazim Benabi, Johnny Wouters, Kasper Bosmans, and Blaise Robillard rounding out your top 10. Field pretty much finishing all together, so no changes in the general classification. Ibai Leida still leads by 38 seconds over Mario Mazziota, and his teammate Hippolyte Tutin still in third place. In the points classification, Leida effectively securing that jersey for Tirreno-Adriatico. Superchak Chirativat scored pretty well in the intermediate sprints, but not so good in the finale, and that'll make sure that Ibai Leida preserves his lead. Davide Lagana in third place, Kromer fourth, and Luis Sancho in fifth. No change in the mountains classification, no significant points scored to upset that leaderboard. And same goes for the team competition, AlphaTauri still leading by 43 seconds over Kyoto. They'll have to fight pretty hard to hold on to that after the time trial on stage 7. So Tirreno-Adriatico concludes with the next stage, a very short and very flat time trial, great for the pure specialists like Tutin and Emil Meyer. So we'll see what effect that has on the scoring and in the final general classification. We'll see you then.